Am I the asshole for calling my sister's husband useless? My 17-year-old sister called me saying that her work had an emergency and she needs to get there ASAP and needed me to watch her kids because, quote unquote, no one else can. I rushed over there just to find her husband locked in his game room playing video games. I asked her why she called me over if he was home, and she said he didn't want to, quote unquote, babysit because it was his only day off. Sister left and I started hanging with the kids. I was changing the baby's diaper and the other kids wanted a snack. I told them to go ask their dad to make them a snack since the baby had a blowout and it was going to take me a while to clean him up. Well, their dad sent them back upstairs and told them to ask me again. After cleaning the baby up, I made the kids a snack and their dad came out to eat and told me not to let the kids interrupt him on his day off. Parentheses, by the way, he works part-time from home 6 days a week, end parentheses. I kind of snapped at him and told him it was my day off too, and that he's a useless fucking father and husband if his wife has to rely on her teenage sister rather than her own husband. He started telling me I was disrespectful and didn't understand how hard parenting is. And I told him he clearly doesn't understand how hard it is either since he considers parenting his own children, quote unquote, babysitting. He ended up kicking me out and apparently my sister was forced to come back home because he told her she needed to figure it out since I'm her sister. I feel like I may be the asshole because my sister is mad at me, her husband is mad at me, my mom is mad at me for causing drama, but my dad thinks it's funny and agrees with me. I definitely didn't need to call him names, but I just hate this guy so much. We have argued about things in the past as well, so we already don't have a great relationship. My sister is saying I need to apologize to him, and he is threatening to never let me into the kids' lives if I keep disrespecting him. So, am I the asshole? Update for anyone who has asked, no, he does not take care of the kids normally. My sister takes them to daycare during the day, then picks them up on our way home. She is the breadwinner and the primary caretaker. Also, I got a few questions of, does she pay you? Well, not exactly, but she will randomly take me on an expensive shopping spree and she'll regularly buy things from my Amazon wish list instead. And I have no problem with this arrangement. I really love those kids and don't have an issue babysitting them. I love hanging out with them. I also don't blame my mother for her being mad at me. Am I the asshole for telling my stepdad and my mom that they shouldn't be surprised at what my little brother said to them when they pulled a prank on him? I, 20-year-old female, am an older sister to my little brother, 17 male, who finished high school last year. My little brother and I are really close. He says I'm the best friend he has, and he loves me more than anyone. Of course, this is not true. He has many friends of his own. My brother has been asking our stepdad and mom if he could get a new car for his grad party since last year, and he said he'd pay 50 to 75% with his own hard-earned money while they paid the rest. They said no. I have a car, but I had been working for one. They helped me pay off for it. So my brother's arguments with our parents got heated after a while. But he continued to press our parents all of last year until they gave in and said yes, like they did for me. Note that our stepdad and my brother have a negative relationship for the most part. Our biological mother and stepdad got together soon after our biological father and mom divorced when we were little. My brother thinks that stepdad and mother were seeing each other before our real parents divorced, and to be honest, I think that might be true, but I'm not certain. Anyway, my stepdad, mother, and brother compromised and said they'd get him the car in 2021 so that people don't gawk at him at the graduation party. June this year, my brother and stepdad and mom are still on about the car. Now the argument's getting loud and lasting hours until evening. My stepdad was getting into screaming matches with my brother over it because they reached a final compromise of the car being bought last week. The fated morning comes and my brother wakes up to our stepdad and mom guiding him outside to a car. but not his, our mom's. Stepdad used his and my brother's money on a dumb prank, bought a completely different model of car, and said it was for our mom. Our mom and stepdad just laughed and kissed each other. My brother didn't lose it. He didn't even look angry. He just looked dead in our stepdad's eyes and said, "I'm not joking," verbatim. "You might think I'm effing stupid. You might think whatever, but I'm just better than you, bro. You know that. I know that. And our mom is an effing idiot for staying with a prick like you. But I'll make you wish you'd never effing met us. I promise you. You might be laughing now, but you'll be crying later." Then he walked off, not even looking back at them as they stared horrified. They asked me what that was about, and I, feeling terrible for my brother, said they had it coming and not to be surprised. So now they grounded both of us. I've had to explain the situation to my friends as I can't see them anymore, but I feel so bad for my baby brother, and they back me up on this and ask me to comfort him as well. Am I the asshole for refusing to fire an employee for having an OnlyFans account? The situation has dragged on now for several months, and I feel like I'm either a total a-hole or I'm losing my sanity. Before the pandemic, I took control of a small team at a mid-sized company. On my team is a young woman, let's call her Alice, who started working with the company out of college. A few months back, I, my manager, and the CEO received an anonymous email detailing Alice's use of OnlyFans and how embarrassing it is to our company to have such an employee. My boss was ready to can her right there, except she's my report and actually knows what she's doing. I talked to him and the CEO into letting me investigate and make a determination based on her value to the company and any exposure we might have. I met with Alice one-on-one along with another manager who is a friend of mine and highly trustworthy. I told her I had never and would never open the page, but I did need to know some things. 1, did she record any videos or take any pictures on the premises? 2, did she use her laptop or other company equipment? 3, did she mention the company or associate herself in any way? She said no to all 3, and I believe her. At that point, I don't think it's our business to police what she does in her free time, in her own home, in her own equipment. I told my boss and CEO that Alice is worth keeping, and I see no reason to let her go. Boss didn't like it, but he doesn't have the power to fire her directly, so he accepted it. I thought that without it to be the end of it. Now, I've had several meetings with HR accusing me of mishandling the situation, insinuating without outright saying it that I supported Alice in exchange for certain favors. A lot of innuendo with no proof because it didn't happen. My yearly review is coming up, and I'm fairly certain I'm going to be put into a PIP due to quote-unquote inappropriate relationships with my rapports. I've also been iced out of leadership meetings, and they like to point that I'm wondering why they don't just fire me and get it over with. Did I do something wrong here? Were my questions to Alice somehow inappropriate? I thought I was protecting her from an unfair punishment. So, am I the asshole? Let me know what you think in the comments.